It was past midnight. I had no idea why I was still awake, but my eyes were glued to my phone screen reading Savannah's latest message. "You're really cute when you're serious." I was lying in bed. Lisa, my wife, was turned to her side, asleep under the soft glow of the bedside lamp. I tried not to move too much so I wouldn't wake her. Even the sound of my own breathing felt intrusive. I'm Mark Bennett, 42 years old. I bake part-time at a small shop in downtown Austin, Texas. I'm not the kind of man who enjoys attention. I just want a peaceful life with my wife and our daughter, Emily, the sweetest girl I've ever known. Savannah is Emily's best friend. She just turned 18 last week. She often came over for dinner, sleepovers, sometimes even calling me cute Uncle Mark. I always thought it was just teen humor, until now. I noticed something off right after I made Savannah's birthday cake, a red velvet she loved. After the party, she messaged to thank me and sent several pictures of herself in the dress. I replied politely, "Looked like a fun party." I didn't realize then that her tone was about to shift. At first, it was just harmless compliments. "You're so talented." "Wish my boyfriend could bake like you." Then she asked if I could check her car, something about a weird noise. I found it odd that she wouldn't ask her dad or a mechanic, but I figured I was just helping out. What I didn't see was that I was walking straight toward a red line. And then it came. "Maybe you could help me with something else. I trust you." I felt a chill, not because of the words, but because of the confidence in how she said them. Like she expected me to play along, like this was normal. I didn't respond. I set my phone down, turned off notifications, and looked over at Lisa. She was still peacefully asleep, her face calm. So calm that I felt like a traitor, even though I hadn't done anything wrong. I lay there, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling, asking myself, what am I supposed to do now? I didn't sleep that night, and I didn't tell anyone. I kept thinking, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's just teenage jokes. But deep down, I knew. Something had changed, and it wouldn't stop here. Wouldn't. "My car's making a weird sound. Can you take a look at it?" The message came while I was fixing a messed-up buttercream on a sponge cake. I froze. My throat tightened. It was an ordinary Saturday afternoon. Lisa was teaching an after-school class. Emily was upstairs with her headphones on. I was in the garage tweaking some online cake orders. The sky was cloudy, the wind light, and the smell of vanilla still clung to my shirt. Savannah showed up like she always did. Short denim shorts, a tight tee, ponytail high. She had a way of making you feel like the only person in the room. I used to think it was just youthful confidence. But today, there was something different in her eyes. She walked into the driveway with a fake worried face. "I hear this clicking sound when I brake. It's kinda scary." I bent down to check her brakes. The pads were worn, but nothing life-threatening. I explained it calmly, kept my distance. Then she said softly, "I don't know anyone I trust like you." I ignored the tone, kept working. She went inside to get water. Emily was still upstairs. I could hear music leaking from her room. I heard Savannah giggle, and soon she came back, standing closer than before. "Your hands smell like cookies," she said. I gave a forced chuckle, stood up, brushed off my palms. "You should take this to a garage. The pads are thinning." "I didn't bring any money," she said, her voice dipping. I was about to say, "No worries, give it later," when she interrupted, "I can pay in another way." And then, right in front of me, she lifted her shirt, exposing her breasts. I froze. Time slowed. Without a word, without a sound, I turned and walked straight into the house, slamming the door behind me. My heart was pounding. I went into the bathroom, locked the door, and stood there for 5 minutes. Silent, cold sweat trickling down my forehead. That evening, I said nothing to Lisa or Emily. I didn't know how to start, didn't know where to begin. But one thing was clear. This had gone way too far. And this time, I couldn't pretend it didn't happen. My phone buzzed at 11 p.m. A picture from Savannah appeared with a caption, "Only you get to see this." I tossed the phone onto the couch like it had burned me. 3 days had passed since she lifted her shirt. 3 days of sleepless nights. 3 days of drifting like a ghost in my own home. Lisa talked about her classes like nothing was wrong. Emily giggled over texts, probably with Savannah. And me? I floated silently between walls that once felt safe. I realized I wasn't just Savannah's victim. I was a hostage of silence. No one knew. I didn't tell. I was afraid Lisa wouldn't believe me, afraid Emily would be crushed. But most of all, I was ashamed. A grown man like me, and I felt cornered like a boy who did something wrong even when I hadn't. Savannah kept messaging, shamelessly. "Do you think about me?" "You don't have to reply. I know you find me hot." Photos kept coming, from swimsuits to full nudes. I didn't respond, not once. But I didn't block her either, because blocking her meant explaining. And I wasn't ready to open that door. I tried writing Lisa a message. "Hey babe, I need to tell you something." One line, then I deleted it. I thought of emailing Savannah's parents anonymously. But what if they didn't believe me? What if they turned this against me? And the worst part? The photos. If they got out, I'd look like a man hoarding explicit images of a teenager. Even though she was legally 18, morally, I felt trapped. In a damned if you do, damned if you don't cage. That night, I was arranging flowers in the kitchen, something I never did, just to keep my hands busy. Lisa came in, hugged me from behind, whispered, "Thanks for always being my rock. You've looked tired lately, but I know you're still the best man I've ever known." I stood frozen, and tears came down. I had kept this secret so long it was killing me from the inside. I turned off all notifications, put my phone on airplane mode every night, tried to act normal, but my mind wouldn't follow. I had nightmares. Savannah in the shadows, smiling coldly, saying, "You can't tell anyone. If you do, they'll think you wanted it too." Next morning, I sat in my car parked outside Lisa's school. I opened her old messages, scrolled through Savannah's photos again. Then I opened my notes app and typed one line. "I can't hold this anymore. You need to know the truth." I took a deep breath and hit send. "She did what?" Lisa screamed, the glass in her hand dropping into the sink, shattering like the air between us. I'd just gotten home from work, the Texas sun still high and brutal. I'd sent Lisa a message that morning, and tonight she'd said, "We need to talk." We were standing in the kitchen, the same kitchen where I baked Savannah's birthday cake. Ironic, isn't it? Lisa, the woman I thought was the strongest fortress in my life, now looked like a storm ready to hit. I told her everything, the messages, Savannah's visits, the photos, and finally, the moment she flashed me. I held nothing back. I wanted Lisa to know the truth, even if that truth might destroy me. I thought she'd hug me, or at least believe me. But no. Lisa's eyes widened. Her face went from shock to fury in seconds. "Are you kidding me? Do you even realize she's Emily's best friend? And you didn't think to tell me the moment it happened?" I kept my voice steady. I didn't know how. I was ashamed. I was scared you wouldn't believe me. She scoffed. "And you think I'll believe you now? A teenage girl, seducing a 42-year-old part-time baker? That's insane." My chest tightened. "You think I made this up? You think I wanted it?" "Yes," she yelled. I think you encouraged it. You let it happen. Don't act innocent. Do you even have proof? Or are you keeping her photos to look at later? I stood frozen. I took a step back like her words were punches. I had never, not once, seen Lisa look at me like I was disgusting. She turned, grabbed her purse, and pointed at the door. Get out, right now. I didn't beg, didn't argue. I walked to the bedroom, grabbed my overnight bag still packed from last week, tossed in a few clothes. Emily wasn't home. Thank God. I walked out, looked back once. Lisa stood in the hallway, eyes blazing with betrayal. I got in the car, drove aimlessly. All I knew was this: the one person I thought would protect me was the first to condemn me. A message from Lisa came at 2:17 a.m. I was wrong. I was blind and cruel. I'm sorry. I was sleeping, or trying to, on my brother's couch. Small apartment, basic but warm. 3 days had passed since I left home. 3 nights of restless turning, mechanical eating, and a numbness that stretched from my chest out to my skin. Lisa, the same woman who screamed at me like I was filth, now messaged me in a different tone. No rage, no accusations. Just one thing: regret. I read that message over 10 times, but I didn't reply. I didn't know whether to feel relief or heartbreak. I wasn't sure I could trust Lisa again. I'd handed her the truth, and in return, I got judgment. Now, could an apology fix what broke? The next morning, another message. I read all the texts on the iPad. I saw what you saw. I don't understand why I didn't believe you at first. Lisa said she stayed up all night, reading every line Savannah sent. The blatant flirting, the photos, the emojis that felt cold and cruel in hindsight. She told me she cried harder than she had since her mother passed, and I believed her. At 6 a.m., the doorbell rang. I opened it, and there she was. Messy hair, puffy face, holding flowers, chocolate, and wearing my old hoodie. I'm not here to explain, she said. I'm here to admit I was wrong. Whether you come home or not, I need you to know. I believe you now. Truly. I didn't say anything at first. We just stood there. Not as husband and wife, but as two people who had lost each other, and were trying to find something fragile again. I let her in. We sat. Lisa didn't cry anymore. She just held my hand and whispered, "Can you forgive me, even if it takes time?" I didn't answer with words. I just squeezed her hand, not as forgiveness, but as a door cracked open. And for the first time in days, I felt like I could breathe properly again. I think you sent that to the wrong person, Savannah. But since you wanted an adult to respond, now's the time. I heard Lisa's voice on speakerphone. Cold, precise. It was the first time I found her terrifying and strangely beautiful. 3 days after she came to my brother's place, I returned home, not to move back in, but to face what had to be faced. Emily still didn't know. She was focused on studying for the SATs, thinking her parents were just having a rough patch. Lisa told me, "You shouldn't have to stand alone. Let me handle this." Lisa wasn't the weeping, broken woman anymore. She had become a lioness, fierce and clear, wielding her rage with justice. Savannah, no longer just a misguided teen in my eyes, now symbolized a silent threat. She'd twisted reality and played games with a man's dignity. Lisa called Savannah from the living room on speaker. "How are you, sweetie?" she started. "I'm good," Savannah chirped. "I need to talk. About my husband." Pause. I don't know what you mean." "Oh, I think you do." Another silence. Lisa continued. "Do you want to tell your parents yourself? Or should I?" Savannah stammered. I... I just... I thought Mr. Bennett was nice. I didn't think it was serious. Lisa cut her off. Sending breast photos? Saying you'd pay another way? That's your version of innocent flirting? Savannah said nothing. Lisa wasn't yelling, but every word felt like a scalpel. Did you think about Emily? She sees you like a sister. Do you even know how much she loves her dad? There was a long, trembling breath on the other end. Then Savannah broke down crying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was doing. My mom left. I just cling to anyone who's kind to me. Lisa replied gently. I don't hate you, but I won't let my husband pay for your confusion. We're going to talk to your father. Soon. Savannah begged. Please, don't. I'll do anything. Lisa muted the call, stepped outside. I followed. I'm not going to destroy her, she said softly. But she needs to learn. Some lines can't be crossed. I nodded. For the first time, I didn't feel like I had to defend myself alone anymore. That night, Lisa wrote a long email to Savannah's father. Detailed, honest, calm. She attached screenshots. No venom, no threats. Just truth. Written by the hands of someone who once betrayed and now was trying to make it right. Dad, did you know Savannah sent someone inappropriate photos? Emily asked softly while I was rinsing a glass. But the moment she said it, my heart froze. A week had passed since Lisa confronted Savannah. No reply from her parents, no fallout. But Savannah had vanished. From our home, from tutoring class, and from every platform Emily used. Lisa and I decided not to tell Emily, at least not yet. We underestimated our daughter's intuition. Emily was my light, 17, gentle-hearted, sharp-eyed, with a smile that could melt fatigue. She'd adored Savannah. They laughed, hugged, shared mascara and passwords. Now, Emily stood before me. Not a carefree girl, but a young woman about to face her first heartbreak. I put the glass down and dried my hands. Why do you ask, sweetheart? She looked at the floor, then pulled out her phone and opened a chat. I saw a glimpse of something Savannah sent to someone. I think it was you. But when I tried to check, she deleted it. I looked at Lisa. She gave a small nod. It was time. I sat on the couch and patted the space beside me. Sweetheart, there's something Mom and I have kept from you. To protect you. Emily sat down. I told her everything. The messages, the flashing incident, the silence, the explosion, the redemption. She didn't cry, didn't rage. She just looked at me, with shattered eyes. She really did that to you? I nodded. Emily paused, then blurted out, I hate her. And for the first time since hearing the truth, she cried like a child. Not because of pain, but because trust had shattered. Because someone she loved had betrayed her and tried to hurt the person she loved most. Lisa held her. I rested my hand on Emily's shoulder. No more words. We let her cry, to shake, to fall apart, wrapped in arms that truly loved her. When her sobs finally slowed, she looked up. I believe you, Dad. All the way. I just wish I'd seen it sooner. That night, Emily blocked Savannah on everything and wrote a letter to the school asking to switch classes. Before bed, she kissed my forehead. You're the strongest man I've ever known, and the one I trust the most. I didn't need anything else, because that was the fairest verdict I'd ever received. That afternoon, it rained. Not hard, not stormy. Just enough to soften things, quiet them, make them clearer. I walked into the kitchen and Emily hugged me like I'd just come back from war. It had been 2 weeks since I told the truth. Nothing in our home went back to how it was. Instead, everything had transformed into something new, stronger. Lisa no longer avoided me, nor was she overly affectionate. She touched me like one touches a scar, not afraid, but with deep respect. Emily laughed more. She still had silent spaces, but now, she didn't bear them alone. I wasn't the same man I was before, and I didn't regret it. I'd learned how to stay quiet when needed, and that truth didn't have to be flawless to be real. Lisa, now my wife who loves me not just with her heart, but with tested courage. Emily, who once trusted friends blindly, now places her trust in family first. That evening, Lisa suggested we have a no-reason dinner party. I laughed. "What are we celebrating?" She smiled. "Celebrating that we didn't break." I nodded, but wondered deep down, had we truly healed, or were we just resting atop still waters? The dinner was simple: roast chicken, salad, a small cake I baked. Emily played soft jazz. The lights were low and warm. No explanations, no mention of that name. We simply sat, ate, laughed, talked about books, movies, and Lisa's awful haircut in college. My heart loosened, not because everything was okay, but because everyone was choosing to move forward. While I washed dishes after dinner, Lisa walked up and gently placed her hand on my back. "You know," she whispered, "I used to think love was a feeling, but now I see it's a choice." I turned to look at her. "I chose to love you again, even when I doubted. And I'll keep choosing that, every day." Later, we sat on the porch watching the rain drip from the trees. No grand speeches. I just held Lisa's hand, and Emily rested her head on my shoulder, like she didn't need to pretend to be grown up anymore. No one said, "I forgive you," or "Let's start over." But it was clear. We were still here, and we chose to stay. The next morning, I woke up early and made cinnamon toast. I opened the kitchen window, let the sunlight in, and thought, we'll never go back to who we were. But this new version is more than worth it. And if anyone ever asks me what real love looks like, I'll say, it's being believed, being forgiven, and being allowed to stay.